My future mother-in-law walked into my grooming salon 14 days before my wedding. She pointed at the reception desk and said, "Transfer the venue receipts to my name tomorrow, so the relatives from out of town don't think my son is broke." I kept disinfecting my scissors. She called me selfish. She slammed the door hard enough to rattle the shampoo bottles on the shelf. That was just the beginning. By the time she showed up at our honeymoon cabin the morning after the wedding, with a stack of loan documents and a demand for $30,000, I was ready. My name is Daria Volkov. I build things carefully. I don't bluff. And I never hand over money without getting something equal in return. Stay until the end. Because what I offered her, and what she had no choice but to accept, is the part nobody expected. My fiancé Pavel and I had planned a small, clean wedding. 40 guests. A restaurant outside the city with floor-to-ceiling windows and good food. We split everything exactly down the middle, his money and mine, equal shares, no drama. I had built my pet grooming salon over 5 years. Every piece of equipment bought with money I earned. Pavel worked as a low-voltage systems engineer, running cable in new construction sites. Neither of us came from money. We knew exactly what things cost, and we spent accordingly. His mother, Zinaida, that was a different story. Zinaida had worked as a merchandise inspector at a furniture warehouse for 30 years and had developed a particular skill. She could pressure people the way you press down on a foam mattress. Slowly, steadily, until it gives. She had relatives coming in from out of state for the wedding, and she wanted them impressed. She wanted them to think the family had money. She wanted receipts in her name, a different menu, a fancier entrance, and a dress on me that looked like it belonged on a float in a parade. None of that was going to happen. 3 days after the receipt incident in my salon, the venue manager called me. "Daria," he said, voice shaking slightly. "Pavel's mother is here. She's asking us to remove the salmon from the menu and replace it with, I'm quoting her, something heartier. And she wants to use the savings to hire a magician with doves." I pressed 2 fingers to the table and breathed. "Who signed the contract with you?" I asked. "You did. Whose card is on the account?" "Yours." "Then call security and escort her out. The salmon stays. There are no doves." Pavel, who was fixing an outlet nearby, looked up. "Mom redesigning the menu again?" "Magician with doves." He nodded slowly. Bold move. He was a good man, steady, calm, and completely clear-eyed about his mother. He loved her. He had zero illusions about her. A week before the wedding, Zinaida arrived at our apartment carrying a giant plastic bag stuffed with shiny tulle fabric that looked like a fishing net covered in rhinestones. She wanted me to return my white pantsuit to the boutique, where the market dress she had found on discount, give her the refund money to put in an envelope as a gift from herself. I looked at the dress. Plastic beaded swans around the hem. The kind of thing that belongs at a school carnival. "Take the tulle home, Zinaida," I said. "I'm wearing the suit. People won't understand. A bride needs to look like a princess. In that dress, I'd look like a marshmallow that got rained on. Please take it before Jean-Paul marks his territory." Jean-Paul, my French bulldog, rescued from a shelter, had already wandered into the hallway and was sniffing the fabric with professional interest. Zinaida shrieked, grabbed the bag, and retreated to the stairwell. I locked the door. The day itself was sunny. The restaurant gleamed. No hard liquor, just house-made lemonades, berry drinks, and light fruit cocktails. I had no interest in a drunk reception. Everything was perfect until the double doors burst open mid-dinner. 3 enormous panda mascot costumes waddled into the room. Behind them, a man pushing a cart with equipment. Behind him, a woman in an evening gown dragging a gilded harp. Guests froze. The pandas began shuffling awkwardly to a folk music remix. The woman plucked at the harp strings. It sounded like a guitar that had given up on life. The man switched on a cotton candy machine. I set down my fork. I blotted my mouth with a napkin. I looked at Pavel. He was choking on his juice. "Your mother," I said quietly. "Probably," he said. "Pandas are her scale." I walked to the man with the cart. "Who booked this?" "The woman in the green sequin dress." I looked across the room. Zinaida was attempting to hide behind a large uncle from out of state. I walked over. "Is this yours, Zinaida?" It's a surprise, Daria. She laughed nervously. Harp, cotton candy, bears, very premium. Lovely. The contract is in your name. Yes, I chose the top package myself. Perfect. Go pay them. They said only a deposit was made. The color left her face like someone had erased it. Pay, but I thought the gift box, we could just take money from the envelopes. I tilted my head. Which gift box? The wooden chest. Gold paper. I brought it this morning. That chest is empty, Zenaida. She grabbed the table for balance. I reached into my jacket and handed her a small printed card. On it, in clean red font. Technology moves faster than tradition. If you'd like to support the newlyweds, scan the QR code below. All gifts go directly to the couple's account. She stared at it. You routed the money around the box, she whispered. Every transfer goes straight to my account. Now, please go settle with your pandas. They're waiting. I returned to my seat. Pavel gave me a quiet nod. For the next hour, Zenaida moved through the room like a cornered mouse. The pandas, once their time was up and their costumes came off, turned out to be three irritable middle-aged men who argued with her loudly in the lobby until she transferred them money from her credit card, hands shaking. Aunt Barbara, Pavel's father's sister, sharp-tongued and completely immune to Zenaida, watched from the next table over. Look at that, she said, cutting her roast beef. Zenaida tried to impress the out-of-towners on someone else's dime. Didn't work out. She raised her cranberry juice toward me. Well done. Don't let that leech attach. She did the same thing to my brother for years. The rest of the evening was quiet and warm. No harp. No pandas. Zenaida sat pale and still, staring at her plate. I danced with my husband and felt nothing resembling guilt. If you've ever had to hold a firm line with someone who treats every boundary as a suggestion, subscribe to this channel. These stories are for you. And if you want to support what we're building here, you can do that through Super Chat. Every message means something, and we read all of them. We spent our wedding night at a forest cabin, a triangular A-frame with pine views and a wood-burning fireplace. Coffee in the morning smelled like pine resin and toasted bread. Pavel was splitting firewood outside. I was on the porch wrapped in a blanket, completely at peace. Until 10 o'clock. Tires on gravel. A cab door slamming. Heavy footsteps on the wooden steps. Zenaida appeared on the porch looking like she had been awake all night carrying cement bags. Makeup gone. Hair collapsed. Eyes bright with something between panic and fury. She dropped a stack of loan documents on the table so hard the creamer rattled. My pension is $1,200 a month, she said, breathing hard. My loan payments are $1,500. I need $30,000. Transfer it today. I looked at the top page. 3 separate loan agreements. Interest rates that would make a financial advisor cry. You borrowed money for the wedding we told you not to plan, I said. You tried to pay for it with our gift money. Now you want us to cover it. I did it for the family. For the wedding. You collected so much through that QR code. That money belongs to Pavel and me. I'm his mother. You're obligated. The bank doesn't care whose mother you are. It wants its payments. She dropped into the chair and started crying, the calculated kind, where the fingers are spread just enough to watch through. I let her finish. Then I stacked her loan documents into a neat pile and said, Here's what I'll do. I'll pay off every one of these loans today. Zero balance. $30,000. She looked up. Hope and triumph mixed in her face. One condition. I held up one finger. We drive from here directly to the county recorder's office. You sign the commercial garage on South Avenue over to Pavel. Silence. That garage, I said, is 400 square feet of brick construction inside city limits. Market value around $200,000. Your debt is $30,000. The property stays in the family. You get out from under collectors who will be calling by next week. You choose. She's robbing me. Zenaida turned to Pavel. Pavel picked up one of the loan summaries, looked at the interest rate, and set it back down. Mom. 300% annual interest. They'll take everything, the garage and the apartment, through the courts. Daria's offer is the only clean exit you have. I looked at my watch. This offer is open for 5 minutes. After that, Pavel and I are going to the lake to feed the ducks. You can call your own cab back to the city. A woodpecker somewhere in the trees. The clock on my wrist ticking. Zinaida looked at me. She looked at Pavel. She understood she had lost, her bluff called, her scheme priced out in square footage. Fine, she said, deflating. Let's go to the recorder's office. Wonderful, I said, standing. Pavel, start the car. We should also order a dumpster for South Avenue. I have a feeling there are years of rugs in there. 1 week after the wedding, a crew was laying new epoxy flooring in that garage. I stood next to Pavel with a thermos of tea and watched them install the ventilation system for the second location of my grooming salon. Zinaida stopped calling. She had no debt, no collectors, no garage, and no appetite for testing my boundaries a second time. Some people spend their whole lives pressing on other people to see what they'll absorb. The answer, when you're ready to give it, is simple. Nothing that isn't mine to give. Share this with someone who needs it, someone being pushed to absorb what isn't theirs to carry. Subscribe to the channel. Every week, a new story about people who held the line. And if you want to support these stories, Super Chat is open. Any amount tells us to keep going. See you in the next one.